Well, it's time. We're going to run through this briefly because I don't know whether I can stand to talk about it at length. They're starting to milk me now, Brian. They rope me in, not only with good segments, with quality talent, but they actually have gotten close enough to where, with the exception of a few off-color segments or a few bobbles and fumbles, they've actually put together a couple of shows lately, start to finish, that were professional over at All Friends Wrestling. And they've even got me heat from some of the people, because the people expect me to knock everything they do, just because I have usually knocked everything they've done. But I can't knock the good stuff, or I wouldn't be honest. It's just that up until lately, they haven't really done any good stuff. Now they've started doing some good stuff, so we expect more of the good stuff. And this past Wednesday night, we get a whole big steaming batch of the bad stuff. So what's a boy to do?
From Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, and that's where MLW was in Philadelphia. And AEW is in Philadelphia. All in all, as WC Fields said, I'd rather be in Philadelphia, but not at these matches. October 6th is the date for AEW Dynamite, and they started off. I know why they do this, because I can hear it plain as day, because an inexperienced booker would say this to inexperienced assistants. Hey, we want to have as much time for this match as possible, so we're going to eliminate the entrances and just start in the ring. Do you know what Vince McMahon and the WWE, no matter what, almost have never done in their lives? Take a guess, Brian.
I don't know.
Start a match in the ring with no entrances. Every once in a while, if you're an underneath talent, you might be in the ring, or you might get your entrance clipped or join in progress or whatever. But you don't make stars or have stars or present stars if you just open up the TV and there they are standing in the ring, and the ring announcer just says, and here he is, Adam Cole. Not even a weight or a hometown, just introducing people by their name. And this was an 8-man tag with Jungle Boy, Dino Douche, Christian Cage, and Bryan Danielson against the Hardley Boys, Twinkle Toes, and Adam Cole. So you've got Cole and Danielson, two of their newest acquisitions, that the people will go absolutely berserk for on their entrances. That they will do yes for Bryan Danielson. That they will do boom and Adam Cole, baby, for Adam Cole, and they just start him in the ring because it's more important to have 30 minutes of this rotten fucking match. I watched this week because it's okay. Bryan Danielson was Merlin the Magician with Nick Jackson. Adam Cole had a great match with, Young Jungle Boy. Oh, Jungle Boy. Can they do it in this environment with and Cutlet and Knock It Off were at ringside with every single one of the joke, ha-ha, funny wrestlers? Can Danielson and Cole work their magic? And the answer was a resounding, fuck no! Nick Hardley starts out with Jungle Boy, and they do gymnastics. And the Hardley Boys have feathers on their heads that they looked like parakeets that had been spit out by a cat. And JR even asked, why can nobody knock their Mardi Gras masks off? Basically, in his own way. They're in a fight, and nobody can knock the feathers off their head. Christian Cage and Adam Cole did some great stuff together. There were pairings in this that was okay, but it quickly degenerated because of the people involved in it into the biggest mess I think I've ever seen on their television program. They have taken Bryan Danielson, possibly the best technical in-ring wrestler all around in the world, and they've now put him in the middle of one of the worst TV matches that they've ever presented. Jungle Boy and the Hardleys did their ridiculous hand-holding, balancing shit on the ropes. Twinkle Toes made his funny faces. It broke into an 8-way of the first of many. Actually, there weren't many 8-ways. It was just one continuous one after a while. The corpse referee has to be in the Bucks matches, so he's not going to do anything. Did you see the spot where old Brandon Cutlet sprayed Christian Cage in the eyes with their spray can, and then they botched the spike pile driver to Cage on the floor?
Yes, I saw that.
So Pieface picks Cage up, and this is a guy with a history of injuries. Picks him up upside down like for a tombstone pile driver on the floor, and the idiot brother is supposed to spring off the top rope and jump up in the air and drive the man down in the pile driver. Well, he didn't go far enough, so he slapped him firmly on his ass like he was spanking a child. And because of Christian Cage's injury background, old Pieface let him down real gently, and it looked like teetotal dog shit. And the doctor comes over to check on Christian Cage, who I had no reason to believe even felt the fucking bump, much less was injured. And Twinkle Toes and Pieface do bad comedy faces to distract from the angle of Cage's being injured and is going to be taken out and not able to continue in this match. So they buried Christian Cage. He was taken out and never came back as a result of a move that did not connect, obviously and plainly. And by the way, they actually fucking retweeted the botched move by the Hardley Boys on their own official Twitter account. Look what happened here, and then you could see it again. Nothing happened there. They retweet the botches because whoever's running their social media is either up the Bucks' ass or doesn't know what wrestling looks like. So then Adam Cole got the camel clutch on one of the baby faces, and the Hardley Boys jumped in, hit the ropes 5 times in a row, and then kissed Adam Cole on each cheek. Twinkle Toes did some of his phony shit. Cutlet and Knock It Off tried to interfere and got beat up. The Hardleys and Twinkle Toes did some ridiculous choreography. They were getting the heat on Jungle Boy, and they tried to set up him making a hot tag. But it was constant, here, I'll flip over you, and I'll flip over you. And then after all of that contrived phony bullshit, Jungle Boy just crawled over and cold tagged Bryan Danielson with no heel anywhere near trying to stop him. And instead of a comeback, Bryan Danielson just knocks one heel off of the apron of the ring. Everybody else in the match disappears. The whole thing comes to a halt. And Twinkle Toes and Danielson get in the middle of the ring and trade forearms with each other. I get that they wanted to leave Danielson and Twinkle Toes in the ring by themselves because that's the issue. But you mean to tell me that Danielson can't make a comeback on all 3 of the other heels when he gets a tag, and then they take bumps out, and then he's looking at Twinkle Toes? And of course, that still doesn't excuse all the other baby faces, Jungle Boy and Dino Douche, completely disappearing. But basically, everybody else in the match went outside on the floor, kneeled down, and in Dino Douche's case, was leaning on the apron watching the match plainly while they do their stuff in the ring. And then when Danielson hits the diving headbutt on Twinkle Toes, then the Hardley Boys jump in and make the save, and then all the baby faces jump right back in, fresh as a daisy, and everybody does everything. Nobody tagged. They just came in and out. Nobody had knocked the feathers off the Hardley Boys at that point. All 4 of the heels were in with Dino Douche forever, while the referee just stood there and watched. Then Jungle Boy ran across the ring, jumped over the top rope, and tried to Hurricane Rana, I think it was Pieface, off the apron to the floor, but he missed him. He didn't scissor his head. He went straight over the top of him. Pieface kind of caught him, and they both fell to the floor and nearly broke their necks. Then everybody in the match did one dive after another. It has now been minutes, literal minutes, without a tag from anybody. It's devolved into a complete mess of guys just doing moves to each other for no reason. Then they stopped Dino Douche. And all three of Twinkle Toes' partners tried to help old Twinkle Toes lift Dino Douche up and powerbomb him. But Twinkle Toes, overbalanced backwards, fell on his ass. This was not the spot. They weren't supposed to botch the powerbomb. They just botched it. He fell on his ass with the dinosaur on top of him. And then they all just stood up and laughed about it. Now, bear in mind, if that spot had worked, then you would have illustrated that it took the former tag team champions, a WWE superstar, all three to help the world heavyweight champion of this company powerbomb a 270-pound guy. That's if it went well. But since they fucked it up, they proved that the former tag team champions, a WWE superstar, and the heavyweight champion of the world of this company can't powerbomb a 270-pound guy. And then all the faces came in and out intermittently. I wrote this as a match, even for a match. This match is a mess, even for AEW. And then the referee stood there and watched all four of the heels give the shitty knee lifts to Jungle Boy and pinned him 1, 2, 3, and the referee counted. Bryan Danielson was nowhere to be seen even in the ring at the finish. And this, I would say, I mean, tell me what you think. Is this the absolute single worst match that you've ever seen involving Adam Cole or Bryan Danielson, either one?
Oh, I didn't know you were going to take it that way. It may be, and I know there are some people who really liked it. I really did not like this.
What was there to like about this? There wasn't any logic sense to this whatsoever. They were falling all over each other.
Exactly. If you're
there was
into,
no fucking.
That's what you have to be into. If you're into the Young Buck style matches with no logic or reason and no rules and just nonstop everything. And how the fuck does Luchasaurus call his spots? Does he just say, "I'll kick you"? What are you gonna do next? Kick. All he does is fucking kick. But anyway,
he can't be calling that stuff anyway, because if he'd called it ahead of time and they knew what was coming, it would all look better.
But no, I didn't like this. It went on for a while. And again, you know, I've said it before about the super elite as they are now, that they're better without Cutlet and Nakazawa, and I can't even blame those two idiots for the problem. It was just the whole thing. I would have liked the Kenny Omega singles match better. I would have liked an Adam Cole singles match better. The Bucks are the Bucks, and you're going to be dragged down to their level one way or another if you're going to do their matches.